I was actually at the substation doing some admin when a call came in about a male possibly armed, acting a little strange, possibly under the influence. And so I started listening, and then I started getting in my car and heading that way.
We heard them call out for, radio silence, basically like everybody get off the radio. We need to be able to communicate. And they were saying that they're in contact with one, he has a gun, and he's not complying with their commands, and that he had got to a vehicle and fled. So at that point, officers just started checking the area to see if we could locate that vehicle. During the canvass, another officer actually located that vehicle crashed. Airs out that he's with that vehicle at the intersection of Shasta and Fountain. I mean, I had a good idea he was armed. When he was initially contacted, they said he had 2 guns in his hands. They found 1 gun in the car. So that leaves another gun that sure it might be in the car, but it also might be on him. When I see him walking in the courtyard, he's walking towards the entrance to the one of the facilities there. So,
hey sir, come over here.
I'm looking at his hands, I'm looking at his body language. I don't see a gun in his hand at that point. I also don't have a great visual because I'm looking through a tall iron fence, and the fence has a code. And it's a fence that's designed to not be jumped. Like us wearing all this gear and stuff, it would be a lot more.
I could have jumped.
Yeah, sure. He's the one who was asking for the code, he's pounding on windows.
This apartment complex or I don't know if you can call it apartment complex, I guess it is, but it was more of a retirement complex, so 55 and up, so we have some older people that are living here, and there was a gentleman out on the balcony, so I quickly just asked him, hey, what's the code for the gate?
Sir, what's the code for this?
Relayed that to these guys. Right away, Lucas went to where he last saw him. He was not there, and they started to press, thinking that he may have gone in this apartment building, which again is a safety concern for us and those people that are inside. I hung back to make sure we had officers. I was on the radio, make sure we had officers containing that building.
So we see him. He immediately sees me and is turned sideways. His right hand is concealed by his side. So I had already unholstered my gun. I pointed it at him and I told him to put his hands up.
Hey, put your hands up!
Officer Jones, who was behind me, began to walk around my left side. So if the door's over here and I'm looking at him here, Officer Jones is walking around this way, and I see the suspect turn his body to have his left side towards Officer Jones. When he does it, I could see in his right hand that he's holding by his right side. He's trying to conceal it from Officer Jones now. I could see the gun in his hand. So I began to say that. I'm like, hey, he's got a gun in his hand.
He's got a gun in his hand. Show us your hands. He's got a gun in his hand. Show us your hand.
The concern at this point is that we can't back away because even though that interior door is locked, it's glass. A glass door can be shot through, and we, like we said earlier, we have that duty to, that expectation that we're there to protect the public. So, not only is he not listening, he's in a standoff. I see him at one point, he just takes an abrupt turn. He's turning fastly and abruptly because he wants to either take cover behind that brick pillar he's been working toward, or he's going to immediately take fire upon us. So I see him do that, and that's when I knew I have to act. If I don't act, one of us might not go home. So I fired the first shot that struck him in the chest.
As soon as the threat was ended and he stopped firing at us, then we stopped. And immediately, Officer Again and Officer Jones began giving medical attention to this individual. Again, I have the utmost respect for both of them, what they did and how they did it. So I was proud to be standing next to them.